Hello everyone, welcome back to EducQuiz. So today we are going to solve the questions under graphs, especially question 1 that we are going to solve right now. So the question goes by a rectangle has verticals at A dot, B dot, C dot, D dot. A, plot the rectangle on a coordinate plane. So to plot on a coordinate plane, you can see that A, B, C, and D, all of them are positive. So how do we use to plot them? You actually don't need to plot any part that is negative. You can put it on the first quadrant. You can put all of them on the first quadrant because all of them are positive, meaning all of them fall inside the first quadrant. So the smallest is 1, the biggest value I see here is 7. So I put my graph accordingly or have 1 here. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I should plot all of the points there, starting with K, 1, 2. Out of no waste time here. So plotting 1, 2. When X is 1, Y is 2. How point B to be here. I'll call it K. I'll call it A, B, 1, 2. And G, yeah. B, 7, 2. So there's B. X1, B sub 2, this is X, and this is Y. X is 7. Y is 2. So it's the same points. Here. Okay, C says 7, 6. When X is 7, Y is 6. This B was 7, 2. That is C 7, 6, and D means 1 to 6. When X is to 1, Y is 6. Okay, like this. So we did the A part. The B part says state which quadrant each vertex is. What is a vertex? A vertex just means an edge, like this. It's an edge, here's an edge, here's an edge. You said which quadrant each vertex is. So we see that both of them, all of them, are on the first quadrant. So right here, B, first quadrant, correct? First quadrant here. C, find the length and the width using the distance formula. C, so we have find the length of this and the width of it using the distance formula. So what is the distance formula? D, square root of x2 minus x1 all squared minus y2 minus y1 all squared. This is actually plus mu. Okay, so that's the formula for distance. We have to find the length and the width. So what is the length here? I can say like 5. Close, I'm going to have the length here and the width here. Because it's a longer part than the lighter part. So we should find the length and the width using the distance formula. So I can choose my length to be between the points just appear upon the E, which is 1, 6, and 8. Yes. So I can use to find the length. I can find the length. The length will be either between D and C, or the distance between A and B. The length can be the distance between either D and C or A and B, both of them with the length. Likewise, the width will be either between the distance between C and B or the sum between G and A, both of them be the width. So I'll take my length to be the distance between G and C. So if I take my length to be the distance between G and C, I'll have this will be my x1, y1, and x2, y2. So one distance is going to be square root of 1 is x2, 7, minus x1, 1, all that squared, plus 1 is y2, 6, minus y1, 6. Oh, all that squared. We're going to be equal to square root of 6 minus 6 is 0. 0 star is 0. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Let's go to be square root of 36 is 6. When you go to the unit, you write 6 units. 6 units. That is a length. You see, to calculate the length, I calculated the distance between this using a distance formula. And you see that the length is actually 6. If I calculate using the graph, I'll see that the length is actually 6 because I start with 1 and I end at 7. So let's calculate the length 1 or 1 and 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's really 6 units. Okay, let's calculate the width now. Width is going to be square root of, I'll take this point and this point to calculate the width. So this will be my x1, y1, and this will be my x2, y2. x2 and y2 right here. So I'll maintain the same formula squared of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So where's my xt? 7. x2 minus x1 is t7 all squared plus root of y2, my y2 is 2 minus y1 is 6 all squared. What am I going to have? That is going to be, here is 0. So I will leave you square root of 2 minus 6 is minus 4 squared. That's going to be, what's minus 4 squared? Minus 4 squared is the same like 4 squared, which is 16. Which implies, what will be the width? Is equal to 4. So just like that, we calculated the width and the height. We check where we say that the width is actually 4. Because you have 6 minus 2, which gives 4. So we calculated, when we saw that the width and the lengths are the same using the formula method. So we are part D, we are on D now. I took too much space for this zero. Calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay, perimeter of the rectangle is what part the formula for perimeter of the rectangle. This is actually done in mensuration, topic mensuration, which could have been to do. Well, you will see it in the lectures. So then we learn that perimeter is length plus width times 2. Or length plus width plus length plus width. That's the perimeter of the rectangle. So that is going to be which implies perimeter is equal to length plus width. My length was 6 plus my width was 4. All that times 2. Which implies my perimeter is equal to, what is 6 plus 4? 10. 10 times 2 is 20. What is the perimeter of a rectangle? I mean, E now. This says find the midpoint of each diagonal. How do you calculate the endpoint? Formula of midpoint, small n and a big N. Remember, small n is the formula for gradient. For the midpoint, it is big M. So what is big M? Formula for midpoint is, they said that you should calculate the midpoint between each diagonal. The midpoint between AC is equal to x2 minus x1 column 2. That is plus, okay, comma, y2 plus y1 on 2. Since it is a point between AC, I'll take s2 plus x1 on 2 of AC. What is AC? This is A, this is C, this is actually the diagonal. So the point on, I'll take, okay, The coordinates of A is 1 and 2. The coordinate of C is 7 and 6. So my x1 will be this. My y1 will be this. My x2 will be this. And my y2, this. Okay, so to calculate the midpoint, all I do, I'll just, which implies midpoint between AC is equal to x2 plus x1 and 2. What is x2? 7 plus x1, 1, 1, 2, comma. What is y2? y2 is 6 plus y1, 3, 1, 2. Which implies the midpoint between this is equal to, what is 7 plus 1 divided by 2? 7 plus 1 is 8. So we will have 8 on 2, which is 4. I'm just writing the 4. What is 6 plus 2? 8 divided by 2 is still 4. So we calculated the midpoint between the diagonal AC. Let's do the same for the diagonal BT. For the diagonal BT, I'm afraid I'm not out of this space. Okay. For midpoint between BD. Midpoint between BT, or we are going to have this again. What is BT? Point B is 7, 2. B 7, 2. D is, what is the 1, 6? Means the midpoint between BT is going to be x2. This is my x1, y1. This is my x2, y2. So midpoint between is going to be x2 plus x1 divided by 2. x2, 1 plus 7 divided by 2. You already did that 1 plus 7 divided by 2. The answer is 4. So the second point is y2 plus y1 divided by 2. y2 is 6 plus y1, 2. 6 plus 1 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that is the answer for the midpoint between AC and the midpoint between BD. Consider the same. So what is the F part say? What do you notice about these midpoints? What do we notice? Notice that the midpoint is the same, and this is very logical. The midpoint should be the same. Because when you're in the middle, you're in the middle of this diagonal and also in the middle of this diagonal. So the midpoint is normally the same. Alright, line G. Find the distance from vertex A to the midpoint of the diagonal BD. The distance from vertex A, where is vertex A? This is vertex A. The distance from vertex A to the midpoint of diagonal BT. So the distance from vertex A, this will be point. Alright, so I'm going to answer first. Hey, that is the headway. Miss Bob. Yeah. What is the be of that? Right. So the next part says that's G. Find the distance between the vertex A and the midpoint. Okay, distance. The formula for distance I have it here. That counts again. That is x. Okay, plus that's x1. Sorry. All squared plus y2 minus y1. All squared. That's the formula for distance. They actually said the distance is between vertex A and the midpoint of the diagonal BD. Remember, vertex means the edge or the point A. So my A is 1, 2, and the midpoint is M. My N is 4, 4. So to find the distance, so this will be my x1, y1, this will be my x2 and y2. So find the distance, D is equal to square root of x2 minus x1. So what's my x2? 4 minus x1, 1 squared plus what is my y2? 4 minus my y1, 2 squared. I'm going to have, that is going to be what you square root of 4 minus what is 3 squared plus what is 4 minus 2, 2 squared. What is equal to square root of what is 3 squared 9 plus what is 2 squared 4.
being equal to square root of 13 units.
Square root of 13, you're going to have 3.13, 3 point something. Okay. But how do you like this or actually calculate the square root of 13 and put units there? That's all for G, H. Now calculate the area of the rectangle. H says you calculate the area of the rectangle. What is the area of a rectangle? Area is equal to length times width. Yeah, so what is the length? What is the length I drew? The length was
Length was 6 and the width 4. So that's supposed to be 24 square units.
Units because the unit is for 1. Since both of them are measured in the same unit, in the first square unit. So that is all for question 9. Hope you have understood everything it is. If you're not, you are free to go back to the video and then it again. So thanks for watching and meet you in question 2. Now to them, keep on solving with us on EducQuiz.